I feel like so many of these videos that I do are essentially me saying like, it's a trap or you in danger, girl. So we're going to talk about one of those today, and it's music and movies. Basically media, the media you watch. So like television shows too, whatever. But basically the things that we watch, as far as our brain is concerned, like it codes it like it codes a memory, you know? So it's real in your mind. You're watching it out here, but it's real in your mind. And it can influence how you see the world. It influences your role models. It influences what you think of as being like good or healthy. So, if you're listening to music and a song like Halsey's Now or Never comes on, it's gonna be now or never, and then inside you're feel like, oh, I don't want to lose this person, and it's now or never, and now you're in a fear-based scarcity mindset about like maybe romantic partners. So you attach on to somebody who is very toxic and bad for you and possibly abusive. Another one I see really so often, particularly for people who struggle with untreated BPD, so borderline personality disorder. Uh, they just love the Joker Harley Quinn romance, and that is the relationship they relate to. I often see like tattoos with it, or you'll see someone have like the figurines in their house, or whatever it is. But that one right there is so deeply responsible for so many toxic, abusive relationships that exist. Um, you know, what ends up happening, the abuser, or in this particular section of our culture, is that these deeply harmful dynamics are romanticized. Like you don't have to romanticize like actual love, because actual love is it's doesn't need to be it already is. It already is wonderful, right? But these toxic dynamics are romanticizing unconditional loyalty and calling it love. You are tied to this person. You made a promise. We keeping our promises, You're you aren't allowed to leave because you said you love me. Well, the thing is, they stole your ability to choose, right? Because if you'd known the love was like this, you never would have chose it. So it's not like you got the terms and conditions on that. So they're trying to trap you again within your own ethics. See my other videos, talked about that a lot. U.S. Sendai, she says, we often get trapped by our virtues and not our vices, and that is why. So repackaging unconditional loyalty, you'll see stuff like, oh, like I'm a ride or die, or, I'm holding it down. So that's basically just a really nice recontextualizing of this person can treat me however they want, and I will never leave. This person, it doesn't have a job, and I'm going to make sure that they have money to do whatever it is they want because they're not adulting. So you got to be very aware of what media you are consuming and how it informs your ideas of what love is, what relationships are. Um, and it could even be, I see child victims of abuse get caught in this as well, because all of the media, not all, but, the majority of the media is, representing parent-child relationships in a very specific way that, oh, parents love their children and this is how everybody is. And so if you have that model of what the parent-child relationship is, but your real life experience is not matching up with it, your life is going to be so profoundly confusing. You are going to be so confused because the script you have for dealing with your abuser is not based on reality. And I'm not saying that, like in a bad way. Most children can look at that media and relate to it. But for child victims of abuse, it is not true. So if you are looking at role models, you want to be discerning. Back in the day, The Cosby Show was a really great, like, example of what a healthy couple looked like. Of course, now they're canceled. But the show itself had a lot of great representation of what a healthy relationship looked like. And, YouTube still has, like, some of those little those little clips, like Felicia Rashad's character, and Bill Cosby kind of like interacting. Or, you know, Morticia and Gomez Adams, also in the Adams family, like it's supposed to be like offbeat and be subversive to like how people traditionally saw relationships like for the time, but they love each other, but not in the sense where they consume each other. They love each other, but they're healthy, differentiated people who have their own activities and hobbies, and they support each other in those hobbies. You know, what is it? Morticia, she says, "Oh, I just want what every girl wants, to to family and also like helping the forces of darkness or something like that, and it's like a little tongue in cheek, but that's kind of what you want in a dynamic. You want to be able to like engage and be supporting and supported by your family, but also be able to do like your own hobbies. I'm not personally recommending we do the dark arts, but everybody's on their own journey. But just be really super discerning about what media that we are taking in and how it's incepting you into or out of like an abuse dynamic. So anyway, I hope this makes sense, and I'll talk to you next time.